Hi everyone, and welcome to my next video for Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U. This is Chapter 15, Truth. So you and Rosa are past the awesome mech stage. That was one of my favorites in the game. Everything about it just had a awesome energy about it, and it's, you know, fun controlling mechs that actually control well. So really good stuff, and yeah, I think looking back, that's probably my favorite chapter in the game. So this one starts off with a arena battle, which isn't all that interesting, but it's still fun. Several waves of different enemies, all from Bayonetta 1, if I'm not mistaken. So you have a bunch of angels that are kind of hanging around the perimeter, and they all come in. Few enemies at a time. They're all out there, I guess, cheering their comrades on. But yeah, some of these tortures are throwbacks to the first game, which is very cool to see. You take care of these guys, and eventually you'll get past them. But nothing new is introduced at the beginning of this stage. So pretty straightforward stuff, but good way to practice combat and get your combos in, and yeah, collect some halos. So once you're through all of this, you will move on to the next area of this stage. So yeah, all of this is a throwback. This and the last two chapters have been throwbacks to Bayonetta 1, and I've seen some comments online about how some folks didn't like that a lot of these same environments came back. But if you go back and play Bayonetta 1, they made some nice improvements to them, and everything just feels a lot nicer and sharper and more polished. And here he is again. He fought him so many times in the first Bayonetta. It's kind of ridiculous. So they had to get him in, you know, since they brought all the other bosses back in the stage before this. Got to fight him again. Similar attacks. He shoots fire and rockets and whatever out of his fingers, and makes these shoots of light come up from the ground, and he throws some punches at you, and yeah, it's good stuff. I think there are some sections like right here where the camera's inside his head, and so I wish the battle would have been pulled out a little bit more, so that you could see more of what was going on. I think this is the first time where I felt like I couldn't see his attacks coming in some cases, but overall not too difficult. And his death is sort of cheesy. He just kind of falls into that vortex. Would have been nice to do a climax to take care of him once and for all until the next time, right? So here, the tower is destroyed, and I am actually not going to show much of what happens at the end of this chapter, since I think it's a pretty critical story point. The entire last chunk of this chapter is story between you, Rosa, Balder, and it kind of ties everything together from the first game and some of the cutscenes that may not have made a whole lot of sense earlier, but I like those a lot. So this feels very much like the beginning of Bayonetta 1, except if I'm not mistaken, you were fighting with Jean on these falling platforms against these low-level angels. So again, there's a lot of stuff in this final act of the game that will give Bayonetta fans a lot to, I think, be happy about, and remembering the stuff they enjoyed from the first game. Yes, since I had just played this a couple weeks ago, Bayonetta 1 I mean, yeah, it was all kind of fresh in my mind, and it was nice to see again, playing it with the Bayonetta 2 engine. And something I mentioned a couple videos ago is that I have been going back to play Bayonetta 1 after having finished this, and it just it doesn't feel as good. I don't know. When I see people say that they like the combat in Bayonetta 1 better, I'm not sure what they're talking about. But again, I'm not an expert, but just in terms of kind of putting them side by side, one for one, this just feels a lot crisper and faster and more intuitive to me. So Just my opinion. And so here you're fighting, I don't even know how to say that, Lopter, but almost like the evil version of Loki. And sort of like the earlier Lubin stage battle, you have these hands that he kind of summons, and now he grabs a giant meteorite. So you summon your demon, who I believe headbutts this fiery meteor. It's awesome. It's just kind of the spirit of this game. It's so ridiculously over the top, you can't help but love it. It's so good. I think only Kamiya would think to summon a demon to headbutt a fiery meteorite, right? It's great. And so the battle continues. Again, there's great stuff in the background. The world's on fire, everything's falling. Yeah, I just, again, can't say enough good things about what Platinum did with the visuals in this game. Really good. I think I am starting to sound like a broken record, much like I was in the Bayonetta 1 videos. So got a gold on that. Grabbed a Umburn Crow. And then folks who did play the first game, and hopefully did play the first game, we're playing this. After this very easy verse right here, you'll get to an area where you fought Gollum in the first game. And you face some familiar enemies here. And I missed the last two verses on this chapter, and I believe they are around this area. If you go up the stairs to the left where there was a chest in the first game, you'll see that there is an area up there that you can go to. I don't know why I turned back around, but I did, and triggered the door, and it took me to the end of the chapter. So I'll have to go through this again and do a little more exploring the next time through. That should have been my hint, right, that you unlock that door, and this area on the side here is for you to explore, but I didn't. So you go in, and there's a major cutscene, which again I didn't show for those who may not have played this. So even though I missed those last two, got gold overall. Not too hard of a chapter, and yes, that will take us to 16, the end of the game.